Well, thank you so much, Maureen and Jennifer, for your help in arranging this, and Senator Klein for that great introduction. I very much appreciate that. And I want to thank all of you who are here today. I know it was a little difficult getting here through the snow, but I'm glad that you all made it, and I appreciate you all being here. You've built a strong, supportive business community here in Dakota County, and the resources and the networking that chambers provide to local businesses are invaluable. Your hard work and services support the county's growing and healthy economy. We're fortunate to live and work in Dakota County. It's the premier county in Minnesota, and it's the partnerships with our cities, nonprofits and faith community, individuals and volunteers, as well as the business community that makes it happen. Being the best-run county in the state of Minnesota takes an exemplary staff and a county board that works well together. Please let me introduce members of the Dakota County Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Mike Slavic, our past chair, Commissioner Tom Egan, Commissioner Joe Atkins, Commissioner Liz Workman, Commissioner Mary Liz Holberg, Commissioner Gerlach. Thank you. I'm very fortunate to have this great group working together on Dakota County issues, and it really makes Dakota County able to really work together and to get things done. It's just tremendous to have these people all helping us make Dakota County the best county. I appreciate this opportunity to focus on some of our successes here in Dakota County and also to discuss some of the challenges that we face, from transportation and housing issues to mental health issues that really are the intersection of community services and public health and law enforcement. I'd like to begin with some feedback that we have gathered from our residents as part of our 2016 residential survey. Understanding the needs of our residents is critical to carrying out our mission of providing services that are efficient, effective, and responsive. So it's encouraging to hear that 95% of the residents surveyed rated their quality of life in Dakota County highly. Our quality of life ratings were higher than the benchmark of comparable counties from around the nation. Our residents applauded the variety of services that we offer and rated the economic health of the county as one of the positives to living here. The county provides 225 programs and services to ensure that our residents have a high quality of life. Seeing the positive results of the survey reinforces that what we are doing is effective and responsive. Being efficient in providing those services allows us to maintain the metro area's lowest county property tax rate, and I'm proud to say that we have the lowest county tax levy per household in the state of Minnesota again in 2018. Our residents pay 29% less in county taxes per household than the metro average, saving hundreds of dollars a year. Reliably low taxes makes it easier for businesses to invest with confidence and bring jobs to Dakota County. Hard work, along with innovation and creativity, allow us to maintain and maximize our efficiency and ensure high-quality, award-winning services for our residents. We recently received recognition from the Government Finance Officers Association with our Distinguished Budget Award, and in 2017 received an Achievement Award from the National Association of Counties for our Birth to Aid program, among other awards that we have received for county services. We are proud to report Dakota County is debt-free. 2 years ago, we retired all of the outstanding debts supported by property taxes, and we remain debt-free. This is something that is highly unique among Minnesota counties. Our 2018 operating budget of $248 million allows us to continue to provide quality services in the face of cost and pressure from demand pressures. And this year's overall county budget of $371 million reflects a careful consideration that's focused on the new demands that we have from state and federal government, existing mandates, infrastructure, and service needs. We're especially proud of the fact that we have maintained a AAA bond rating. It's a reflection of our sound budget and finance practices, and the high rating is going to save our taxpayers money if we ever do go out for bonding with lower interest rates. We feel a great responsibility to be good stewards of our tax dollars, and we are working to keep communities safe, provide amenities and public assistance programs, maintain our roads, build infrastructure, promote public health, and much more. Dakota County's focus is on its residents. To ensure that we are serving our residents in the best ways possible, we strive to be transparent and accessible. We believe in the importance of accountability and responsiveness, and we are constantly working to engage our residents in multiple ways, from open houses to face-to-face meetings, to our website, to newsletters, and now to social media. Social media has allowed us to reach and engage more residents, receive timely feedback, and better inform people about our services and events. Just as important, we've worked hard to spread the good news about Dakota County and its success through social media and other channels. We launched Facebook and Twitter social media platforms last year. More than 45,000 people have engaged us on Facebook and nearly 8,000 on Twitter. In addition, we recently added Instagram and are piloting the use of Nextdoor, which is a neighborhood-level social media app. Residents can also find us on YouTube and LinkedIn. So please like us, interact with us, ask questions, and be sure to share our stories. I'd like to move on to some of the key issues that are very important to our residents, beginning with transit and transportation. As you may be aware, we received a $21 million payment last year when we withdrew from CTIB. CTIB was a 5-county organization that was organized to promote funding for transit in the metropolitan area. But CTIB wasn't working for us. It wasn't working for the taxpayers of Dakota County. And now that we've returned those funds to Dakota County, and in addition to a quarter-cent transportation sales tax, we can ensure that the valuable taxpayer resources are targeted here in Dakota County towards the transportation and transit investments that are most effective for our residents and our businesses. In our county, where all of our transit runs on roads and our growing population demands more highway miles, we will continue to rely heavily on a robust county road system. And developing that transportation system is a top priority for the Board of Commissioners. We maintain 412 miles of county highway and see more than 1 billion miles traveled each year. In 2017, we completed a major construction project at the intersection of Highway 52 and 42 in Rosemont that significantly improves safety and allows for greater capacity for future traffic in the area. We plan to spend nearly $70 million a year over the next 5 years on highway projects alone. In addition, the county transportation sales tax now provides us with $17 million a year, which will help add to the resources for overall transportation system. And we look forward to partnering with our cities and others on these projects. We are also developing an efficient transportation options that offer convenient alternatives to driving. Upcoming projects include the Metro Orange Line along 35W, which will connect Burnsville to Minneapolis, and extending the Metro Red Line along Cedar Avenue farther into Lakeville. Our recent east-west transit study recommended specific corridors for us to consider to enhance transit service, and we are beginning with the highest priority corridor, which is County Road 42, from Scott County on the east all the way to the Dakota Technical College. County staff is working with the Minnesota Valley Transit Authority, the cities of Apple Valley, Burnsville, and Rosemont to extend the transit service to the Technical College with a pilot project this year. All of this helps economic development. When it comes to the economy in Dakota County, there are a lot of things to feel good about. The county unemployment rate has dropped from 8% in 2010 to about 2.2%, and that is the lowest it's been in over 10 years. It is also lower than the national and state averages. Wages and incomes have been growing, property values and new construction has been increasing. We're seeing construction in virtually every corner of the county. Last year, new construction in Dakota County was up 32% over the previous year, a statistic that started leaving the county board. It's amazing. More people are moving in, and our population is pushing 422,000 at the last estimate. I can remember when we were struggling to get to 400,000, so 422 already. We're glad that the people have chosen Dakota County, and those growth trends are very positive, but challenges remain. There are more jobs than there are people to fill them. And through the Workforce Council and other county efforts, such as hiring fairs, workshops, and specialized training, we're helping people find jobs and helping employers find people. Still, a significant challenge that we face is housing availability and affordability. The county is addressing this in a variety of ways. Through the Dakota County Community Development Agency, we're able to directly develop affordable housing for families. This spring, construction will begin on Prestwick Place, which is a townhome development in Rosemont. When completed, this development will provide safe, stable, affordable housing for 40 families and their children. The CDA's housing finance authorities and resources will allow us to partner with nonprofits and private developers to create and preserve affordable housing in Dakota County. Another component of the CDA's work is repositioning land for redevelopment. The CDA recently issued a request for proposals for a parcel on the north end of South Robert Street in West St. Paul. The CDA spent a number of years acquiring property in that area through voluntary transactions, and we're excited to see the potential of this site and bring it back onto the county tax rolls. At the most extreme, the housing challenge shows up as homelessness. Over the winter, there were more than 200 people served through a rotating homeless shelter. Low rental vacancy rates and high rents make it nearly impossible for some families to find affordable housing. That's why for the 2018 budget, the county board approved an additional $1.2 million in funding for our Community Services Division to enhance housing support services. Meeting the housing challenge for our workforce is something that will continue to require resources and community support. Our goal in Dakota County is to help our residents thrive. One of the primary responsibilities of county government is to help improve the lives of our most vulnerable residents. And we believe our leadership and results in this area are critical to the success of the county. On average, the county has about 160,000 community service cases open. These are helping children, seniors, those with disabilities, and those with mental health issues. These are your neighbors and mine. The Career Success Program is an example of how we help residents reach their full potential. The program is a collaboration of staff from 3 areas of the county who realized they were duplicating efforts and overlooking opportunities because they were working independently. By joining together, they are helping youth with high risk of unemployment, who are not finishing high school, or have mental health or chemical dependency program issues. They've created a program in which the youth learn basic job preparation skills and explore specific jobs. And we have a short video we'd like to show you on the features of this program.
To you, this may sound like any other construction site. But to us, that's the sound of a teenage life changing course.
In some way or another, they've come through our system and they're still part of our programming.
Safety is number one.
Tim Morgan is a program coordinator in juvenile corrections, but these days he's also a vital part of our career success program.
It's a program really to take kids who are interested in specific types of careers and move them through beyond just the tour to possibly linking them in with resources to actually get them into the career.
If you haven't heard of the Career Success Program, that's probably because it's relatively new. We started it about 18 months ago as a Dakota County partnership among Juvenile Corrections, Children and Family Services, and the Workforce Center, supported by the Dakota Scott Youth Council. And so far, we've helped close to 90 kids. Here's how it works. Our probation and social services teams identify teenagers that might benefit from a little extra career help. Some of the kids are on probation, others are not. We then take them on field trips to get a behind-the-scenes look at various careers and introduce them to industry experts.
We're going to be running 2 26-ton excavators, 2 large bulldozers. We have wheel loaders, mini excavators.
On this day, we took them to learn about construction at Extreme Sandbox in Hastings.
Extreme Sandbox is a heavy equipment adventure company. We let people play on construction equipment.
The kids spent the day learning about what it takes to make it in the construction trade. And then they got to climb behind the wheel and try the Komatsu equipment out for themselves.
Sometimes these are large, intimidating equipment, but it's really cool when we can take that student that maybe never would have thought of construction as a trade, and you just see their eyes light up. You see them that, yeah, they can do it. And I think everyone leaves here with a new appreciation for what these guys do for a living.
Pull back slowly.
Kids also leave the experience with connections that could help them turn it into a career.
I think it's really fun to be the connection between the labor and the people needing it, filling that role as being someone that can get someone from point A to point B in their career and have it be successful.
I want to highlight 2 other services that we have behind the scenes that help ensure that everyone in the county has an opportunity to thrive. As part of our Pathways to Opportunity program, we are engaging with communities throughout the county to understand a full range of community strengths, needs, and the goals of our residents. We've started with Discover Together, a South St. Paul initiative. County employees and community representatives are working together to better understand where we can add value, provide support, and enhance our partnerships and help to remove barriers in the community. Our Birth to 8 collaborative has been very successful. This early childhood initiative is designed to assure that there are increased educational successes for our at-risk populations. It has been recognized as a state and national model for coordinating multiple early childhood services. In 2017, in South St. Paul alone, we were able to connect 50 new families to the school district, making it possible for those young children to receive crucial early services that will help them succeed later in school. 2/3 of those preschoolers and their families were unknown to the school district before we connected them. This demonstrates Birth to 8 as a partnership success. And just last month, we were invited to present on the program's success at the National Association of Counties Conference in Washington, D.C. It was a great opportunity to highlight the work of our county and our community partners. These are only some of the many services that we have behind the scenes to ensure that everyone in the county has an opportunity to thrive. Making sure our communities are thriving also means keeping them residents safe. And there are many challenges that law enforcement in Dakota County and around the nation face on a daily basis. The Dakota County Sheriff's Office, under the lead of Sheriff Tim Leslie, is committed to preventing and reducing crime, supporting crime victims, and being a community partner to enhance public safety. The Sheriff's Office responded to 32,000 calls for service in 2017, and we continue to fight crime in a variety of ways, including through advanced technology and investigative techniques. One of the things that's somewhat interesting is crime has changed, and the sheriff mentioned this in a meeting just yesterday. Now, we're not really seeing the bank robbers of yesteryear, but we're seeing all these cyber criminals, and it's a different kind of a crime that we're facing on a regular basis. The caseload is growing for the Dakota County Electronics Crime Unit. This investigates electronic crimes and also gathers digital evidence for criminal cases, both in Dakota County and at the request of other Twin City area law enforcement agencies. The task force worked on 330 cases in 2017, and the caseload has increased nearly 75% since the unit was established in 2015. School safety is also on the minds of many, and unfortunately, we've seen some tragic stories that have occurred around the country. Our sheriff's deputies regularly train to respond to a variety of scenarios in schools and other public places. Sheriff deputies serve as contracted school resource officers in Apple Valley and Rosemont, and recently met with those cities' police departments to discuss the expectations should a tragedy occur. We certainly hope that day never comes, but we all benefit knowing that the level of cooperation that takes place among law enforcement in our communities. We are also working with the sheriff, the county attorney, community corrections, social service staff, and the judiciary to make sure that offenders with mental health needs are being connected to the right services. So the whole purpose is to help them stay out of jail and to become productive members of society. Last year, we added a mental health coordinator who helps to identify mental health needs of incoming jail inmates and works with social services to connect certain inmates who are being released from custody with psychiatric services. We've also found new ways to help law enforcement and our residents. We're particularly excited about a new program we launched countywide with Vitals Aware Services. This service is designed to improve interaction between law enforcement and people living with intellectual, behavioral, or developmental challenges. The service equips first responders with information voluntarily provided by the people who enroll in Vitals, information such as their diagnosis and how to best interact with them. Dakota County Social Services is supporting that implementation of Vitals by helping connect people who need funding for the service if they're eligible for county assistance. This program will help provide positive outcomes for both our residents and law enforcement. Our law enforcement officers increasingly are responding to calls involving people who are suffering from mental health crisis. They need more tools to effectively do their jobs and to keep our community safe. Among those services is crisis intervention training. This is a set of soft skills that is used to de-escalate incidences involving people in crisis. State lawmakers last year required that all licensed law enforcement complete crisis intervention training. We recognized a need for a training facility to serve first responders across the region, and we have developed a solution. The SMART Center. SMART Center, which stands for Safety and Mental Health Alternative Response Training Center, would be the home for the Minnesota Crisis Intervention Team, which provides the crisis response training, as well as our electronics crime unit and the drug task force. Providing for the regional SMART Center is a top legislative priority. Our county has already budgeted $6.6 million for this project, and we're asking legislators and the governor for another $6.6 million in state bonds to help fund it. We're excited about the many organizations that have expressed support for this project, including the Dakota County Regional Chamber of Commerce. And we also appreciate the bipartisan support this project has with our legislative delegation. Thank you. I'd like to show you a short video that further highlights the importance of this project.
I think like most people, mental illness runs in families. My family is no different. My father was institutionalized after he came back from the Korean War, and I lived through that a little bit. He was in and out of my life a lot, but he was not a bad person. You just had to find a place where you could communicate with him.
We're all seeing a tremendous uptick in the number of calls we get with respect to mental illness or people in crisis.
You need to have a really good understanding of how to approach people that are suffering mental illness, and then how to help them get through their crisis.
Probably about 1/3 of the officers in Minnesota have been trained at this point. That would be trained in a 40-hour CIT class. I would say you've probably got a half that have been trained 8 hours, kind of an awareness of what the issues or concerns are.
A lot of the push for crisis de-escalation training, crisis intervention team training has come about because of the tragedy that someone with a serious mental illness in the middle of a mental health crisis was killed. And we don't want to see those tragedies occur, and we think many of them actually can be avoided if, again, people get the right training.
The SMART Center will be a venue where police officers and sheriff's deputies across the state receive crisis intervention training and practice their skills in realistic scenarios. Training officers to de-escalate incidents involving people with mental illness increases the safety of officers and the safety of the public.
Presently, we are going to wherever we can find space to train.
The reason that NAMI supports the SMART Center is we want to make sure that police training around mental illness is easily accessible. Having a place to go will make it easily accessible.
It's a 7-county metro accessible location where everyone could come. Even the South Metro, Goodhue, and Scott, and Carver, and all the way down to Olmsted County could make the trip up. It's a natural progression that law enforcement would be up to the challenge. We always accept the challenge that society gives us. Miranda, tape recording interviews, we've stepped up to the challenge on those. We can step up to this challenge as well.
And we appreciate Senator Klein, who is our Senate author on this bill, and look forward to seeing what happens at this year's legislative session. So, thank you. Like many other communities across the state and even the country, we are experiencing an epidemic of opioid drug addiction. The rise in addiction of prescription painkillers has had devastating consequences, from taking the lives of some addicts, contributing to the drug-related crimes, and consuming public resources. In December, under the leadership of our county attorney, Jim Backstrom, we joined with other entities in a lawsuit against opioid manufacturers and distributors for their part in the growing rate of opioid addiction in the county. Successful litigation will result in changes in pharmaceutical marketing, more preventative public education, and monetary relief to Dakota County for the tax dollars that have been spent on combating this opioid public health crisis. On a lighter note, in 2017, we saw great growth in our park and library systems and our volunteer program. Our volunteer program is thriving with more than 3,900 volunteers who have put in 40,000 hours of service over 190 different opportunities, saving the county almost $1 million. Those impressive numbers are the result of a lot of hard work by a dedicated group of volunteers and county staff. We partner with state and national organizations as well as private corporations and cities across the region to ensure we are a volunteer leader. We continue to look for great things from our volunteers in the future. We are proud to celebrate the 50th year of the Dakota County Park System. Our first acquisition of land was in the Lebanon Hills Regional Park, which began with 80 acres around Jensen Lake, just off Pilot Knob Road. Since then, we've added more than 5,600 acres that have been set aside for recreation, learning, and preservation in our county parks, trails, and greenways. Last year, we celebrated the opening of a 4.3-mile section of the Mississippi River Trail connecting Spring Lake Park, or Spring Lake, to Hastings. And just a few weeks ago, we opened the Pine Bend Bluffs Trailhead in Invergrove Heights. The new trailhead, with beautiful amenities and access to Highway 52, will provide residents and visitors alike with another way to access our parks and trails. I had the opportunity to visit a couple of weeks ago when the weather was nicer. And there was a family there with 2 children, and they were just so excited because they had found deer antlers, one for each of them, and they were just so excited and proud to show off these antlers that they had found walking on the trails near this trailhead. So it was kind of fun. We're also taking steps to restore and manage natural spaces throughout the county. We know that we are now in the first full year of our 5-year Natural Resource Management System Plan, and over 5 years we plan to restore 3,500 acres in our parks and 180 acres along our regional greenway corridors. We know from the residential survey that another major reason that people love Dakota County is our library system. In 2018, we will complete the remodel of the Galaxy Library in Apple Valley, and also remodel and expand the public meeting spaces at the Heritage Library in Lakeville and the Pleasant Hills Library in Hastings. All 3 locations will have an expansion of youth spaces to continue the library's focus on early learning. These remodeled libraries will meet the changing needs of the 21st century, offering users such things as iLabs, which includes things like a 3D printer that you can go in and create things with, and expanded use of access to state-of-the-art technology. Customers will also have access to more meeting space in each of those locations. More than 4.5 million items were checked out of our libraries in 2017. There are also more than 1.7 million in-person visits to the library and over 95,000 who attended programs and events. Nearly 6,500 hours were volunteered. This shows the great demand that our residents have for educational services that our libraries offer. We are proud of the many things we have accomplished in 2017, and we're going to build on that success. In addition to some of the things I've already discussed, the Board of Commissioners has several other key priorities in 2018. And some of the highlights are working with our cities. One of the areas is launching the Dakota Broadband Board, which is a partnership of the county, the CDA, and our cities in the county to pull together 250 miles of patchwork, publicly owned telecommunications fiber that already exists in the county and to fill gaps in that network. Specifically, our goals for 2008 is to see that this Dakota Broadband Board is fully operational by the end of the year, and to ensure that all members are connected to the institutional network, or INET. Taxpayers will benefit from shared maintenance costs and a greater ability for local governments to provide services electronically. We're adding new options for transit within the county, such as a way for Dakota County residents with disabilities to access transportation to work. With a state grant, we're partnering with Lyft a rideshare service company, to offer on-demand, affordable transportation options for people with disabilities. The program aims to serve 100 people this year and upwards of 500 people in 2019. We're also welcoming some new development in Dakota County, including the Minnesota Vikings facility in Eagan. We're very excited about that and the visibility that that provides to Dakota County nationwide. But we're also ensuring that our infrastructure meets the needs of this and other expected developments in the county. We are preparing already for the 2020 census and the 2018 elections. As a county, we're responsible for administering elections and putting forth a great deal of effort to ensure that it is a smooth process this fall. This includes partnering with our cities, our townships, and others to provide new training for election judges, use grant funds to purchase electronic poll books. These e-poll books are expected to replace the paper rosters that you see, particularly in the larger precincts in our cities. The advantages of an e-poll book include providing automated voter statistics, faster reporting, accurate absentee vote uploading, and enhanced voter privacy. And we're looking to the future by investigating the implications of new autonomous vehicles and other technologies that are coming to Dakota County. These priorities show that 2018 is shaping up to be a productive and exciting year for the county. I want to thank you for listening to all of these stories. There are many, many more, and I'm pleased to have been able to share at least this much of the work that Dakota County does on a regular basis. On behalf of my fellow commissioners, I want to assure you that we take the responsibility for providing services that are effective, efficient, and responsive very seriously. Everyone in this room today could be somewhere else. You chose Dakota County. I thank you. The Dakota County Board and the county employees look forward to building upon the county's great legacy and continuing the work with you and all the citizens to ensure Dakota County continues to lead as a great place to live, to do business, and to thrive with a high quality of life. Thank you.